Hey guys, I'm sorry about that. I was too far away from the internet connection. Alright, so I just took a break from gardening on this beautiful day and thought I would do my story and my craft project out here since I've been gardening and enjoying the fresh air and the sunshine. So I'm going to read you a book and then we're going to do a cool craft with some things that most people normally throw away. So I'm going to read to you from my favorite series when I was a kid, the Berenstein Bears. So we're actually going to read the Berenstein Bears Don't Pollute Anymore. So, when Bear Country's cubs learn pollution's a fact, they help grown-ups learn to clean up their act. Well, looky here, said Papa Bear as he opened the evening news. Your friend Professor Actual Factual's got his picture in the paper. Oh, said Brother and Sister Bear coming to see. There's a big story too, said Papa, and a headline. My goodness, said Mama Bear, what's it about? Leading scientist claims Bear Country is in serious trouble, he said, reading the headline. What sort of trouble? Asked Sister. Papa, who was reading the story to himself, didn't answer. What sort of trouble? Said Mama, repeating Sister's question. Oh, you know how professors are, he said. Actual Factual is making a big fuss about pollution. Well, I know how Professor Actual Factual is, said Mama, and I think he's quite sensible. So do I, said Sister. Me too, agreed Brother. Oh, he's a great guy, all right, said Papa. He's dug up some terrific dinosaur bones, and he runs a great museum. But I happen to think he's gone a little overboard on this pollution thing. And I'm as much against pollution as the next fellow, he continued. I just don't think that a couple of candy wrappers and drinking cups along the side of the road is the end of the world. Besides, Bear Country's in great shape. Come on, I'll show you. He opened the door and led the family out onto the front stoop. You see, Bear Country's not only in good shape, it's downright beautiful. The rolling hills, the forests, the lakes, the streams, and just look at that sunset. It's beautiful, all right, agreed Brother, but our science book says that some of these colors are caused by chemicals in the air that shouldn't be there. Piffle, said Papa. Say, aren't you two supposed to be doing your homework? Sister, who had just completed her homework, finished quickly, but Brother Bear was stuck. Teacher Bob had asked him to do a report on endangered species. The books he had taken out of the school library weren't very helpful. Of course, the kind of shape Bear Country was in wasn't as simple as Papa made it seem. How Bear Country looked depended on your point of view. It looked fine from the Bear family's front stoop. It looked even better if you had a bird's eye view while flying over the earth. But if you had a squirrel's eye view and were finding fewer and fewer acorns because too many trees were being cut down, Bear Country didn't look so fine. If you had a duck's eye view, you might think the professor was right about pollution. And if you had a fish's eye view, you might think things were just downright awful. The next day, Brother decided to visit the museum to ask Professor Actual Factual for help with his endangered species report. Sister Bear went with him. Professor Actual Factual was usually cheerful and friendly and bubbling over with ideas and projects when the cubs visited, but this time he looked worried and glum. He cheered up a bit when he saw them, but when Brother told him the purpose of the visit, to get help on a report about endangered species, he said something very surprising. I'll tell you the endangered species to do your report on. Us. We don't understand, they said. It's very simple, explained the professor. We bears and all other creatures need certain things to survive. Clean air to breathe, pure water to drink, and good soil to grow food in. If we don't do something about pollution, we're all going to become endangered species. Come, he said, you'll understand soon enough. He led them out to where the Actual Factual mobile was parked. It was a special van with all kinds of scientific gear in it. Then the professor took Brother and Sister on a Bear Country tour they wouldn't soon forget. They went past Grizzly Gus's garage where they saw oil leaking into a stream, getting on a duck and killing some fish. They went past the old box factory where they saw ugly black smoke pouring into the air. Then they scuba dived into Great Bear Lake where they saw everything from soda cans to rusty bed springs and worse. They even saw a fish tangled in a plastic soda can holder. They cut it loose, but they couldn't rescue all the fish from the plastic holders carelessly thrown away. They drove through the forest and saw that a great many trees had been cut down and that not many new trees had been planted to replace them. "You might speak to your dad about that," said the professor. "He and his fellow woods bears could help with that problem." "I think I see what you mean about becoming endangered species," said Brother when they got back to the museum. "Yes," agreed Sister, "but what are we going to do about it?" "Did that evening news story do much good?" asked Brother. "Not much," said the professor. "The idea that Bear Country is in serious trouble because of pollution seems to be hard to get across." "To grown-ups, maybe," said Sister, "but we understand, and all of our cub friends will too, because we're the ones who will have to live in this messed up, polluted earth when we grow up." "Professor," said Brother, "how does this sound? You come to our school and explain all about pollution to the cubs of Bear Country. Maybe we can do something about it." Actual Factual was impressed. "I'll give Teacher Bob a call right away and arrange it," he said. And that's what happened. The cubs were all eyes and ears as Actual Factual told them about the trouble that Bear Country was in. First, he taught them 3 important new words: ecology, conservation, and recycle. The way the professor explained it, ecology means how all the creatures, the plants, and the earth itself work together. Conservation means not wasting the valuable things of the earth like water, oil, wood, and metal. And recycle means finding ways to use some of those valuable things over and over. There's the picture that goes with it. The cubs learned quite a lot from Actual Factual, and they had some ideas of their own too. "How about a recycling program?" suggested one cub. "Maybe for newspapers to start," added another. "Then if it works for cans and bottles too," Tim Honeypot said that he'd talked to his dad, Mayor Honeypot, about it. Brother Bear remembered Grizzly Gus's garage. "You shouldn't be allowed to spill oil into streams and kill fish," he said. Babs Bruno, whose dad was the chief of police, said, "I'll talk to my dad. If there isn't a law against it, there ought to be." Even Too Tall helped with an idea. "My uncle owns the Super Duper Market. He could put in a bag return plan for reusing bags." "Excellent suggestion," said the professor. "And if some folks don't want to cooperate," added Too Tall, "me and the gang can lean on 'em a little." "The bag return is fine, Too Tall," said Teacher Bob, "but no leaning." Cousin Freddie had the best idea of all. "Let's start a club to stop pollution and call it the Earth Savers Club. We'll make posters and bumper stickers and have cleanups and marches and parades." But there was still the problem of Papa and his fellow woods bears. That evening, Brother and Sister told Mama and Papa about the Earth Savers Club and all the plans for stopping pollution. Mama was very impressed. Papa was too. "As I said before, I'm just as much against pollution as the next fellow." But when the cubs asked him to be sure that he and his fellow woods bears plant a new tree for every one they cut down, he got a little grumpy. He grumped. "It's hard enough to cut down trees without having to plant one as well. Besides, what's all the fuss about? They're just trees." "My dear," said Mama, "the cubs are right. The forest is a living thing and deserves respect." Papa was about to say piffle, but he thought better of it. The problem of conserving the forest must have been on his mind because that night he had a dream. In the dream, he was walking toward the forest to cut wood when the trees began to sway and wave their branches. Then the branches turned into reaching, grasping arms, and then the trees climbed out of the earth on their roots and chased him. "Help!" cried terrified Papa in his sleep. "The trees! They're after me!" He woke up in a cold sweat. "Having a nightmare?" asked Mama. Must have been something I ate," he said. "Or something you heard, perhaps," she said, "about trees." "Piffle," he said, and turned over to try to go back to sleep. But it wasn't going to be easy. The Cubs didn't expect to solve all of Bear Country's pollution problems, but the Earth Savers Club made a very good start. The mayor declared a special holiday called Earth Savers Day, and the Cubs had a big parade. Brother and Sister Bear marched at the head with Professor Actual Factual. And there were many grown-ups in the parade too, including Papa Bear, who carried a sign that did not say piffle. It says, "A good woods bear plants a tree for every single one he cuts. No ifs, no ands, no maybes, or buts." All right. So this book had a lot of great suggestions about things that we can do to help reduce pollution where we live at. So, of course, Papa Bear's attitude at the very beginning was, well, a few candy wrappers and a few drink bottles and stuff strewn on the side of the road is not a big deal. But actually it is a big deal, because Keep America Beautiful has done research and surveys, and they have found that people are more likely to litter if they have already found litter there. So when somebody sees a piece of trash there, then it makes them say, oh, well, there's already pieces of trash there. Somebody else didn't care, so why should I care, and throw it down as well. So that's not a good attitude to have. So just because you see trash on the side of the road doesn't mean it's okay for you to litter either. We should try to be more responsible and keep our litter in our car, as well as pick up any litter that we find that doesn't belong to us. So, of course, then pollution, to your perspective, you may look out where you live at and say, oh, the world's just fine and clean. But when you think about big cities that have lots of cars and lots of traffic and lots of air pollution and stuff like that, you know, things are not as good there as they might be somewhere else. And so there are things that people can do, whether they're kids or whether they're adults. There's lots of things that kids can do to help the planet. They can help organize cleanups, which of course right now Keep America Beautiful is saying, please do not pick up litter, because, sorry, my cat is pushing my phone. They are saying right now not to pick up litter because of the coronavirus, COVID-19, that the germs may stay on things for a couple of days, if not 3 or 4. So when this is all blown over, you know, kids can organize cleanups and things like that, and that would be a great thing to do. And of course, they had an Earth Savers Club in there. They had an Earth Day parade, and that's all things that kids can participate in. So just because you're a kid doesn't mean that you can't do things to help the planet. So we are going to look at, well, let me mention just a few more things here. Then the Too Tall mentioned about the bag return. We do have bag returns at Walmart, at Food City, and at Lowe's. So when you have plastic bags, then you need to take them back to those places, and they will be recycled into new bags. So that's also something very important. Making sure that people don't spill their oil and stuff into the streams like Babs Bruno tried to get her dad to do, and starting recycling programs. And did you notice in that story that it said with recycling programs, they said start with newspapers first. So if you guys don't recycle at home during this quarantine time, this is actually a perfect time to get started with recycling. Recycling is not a big deal. You don't have to have a fancy container or anything like that. We just use plastic totes that you get at Walmart for like $3 or $4, and that is our recycle bin. We have one for our paper, one for our cardboard, and one for our plastic that we keep. And when it's filled up, we take it to the recycling center and drop it off. So you don't have to do all 3 things. You can actually just start out with one thing. You can start out with just your newspaper, or you can start out with just plastic, or you can start out with just cardboard. Starting out small, and once you get into the habit of recycling that one thing, then start adding other things to that. So that's always a good thing to do. Start small and then work your way up. And this is a perfect time to be doing that as we're home and cooking more and spending more time at home. We're probably making more trash, and so to help us reduce the cost of disposing of our trash, try recycling. That would be great. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys, we've talked about recycling and stuff, but I'm going to show you a cool craft to do with things that get thrown away a lot. Last time I did a toilet paper bunny roll. Yesterday, Miss Greta did a piggy bank, and my daughter and I have not got a chance to make that yet, Miss Greta, but we are going to make that tomorrow, hopefully, and we'll post a picture of ours on there. But she made hers out of a big coffee can. We don't drink coffee, so I'm going to have to find some other kind of container to make our piggy bank out of. But today, we're going to make a really cool rocket, and we are going to make it out of plastic bottles, because everybody drinks some kind of beverage that's in a plastic bottle, whether it be water or juice or a Coke or a Dr. Pepper or whatever. So we're going to take this, instead of throwing it away, we're going to make something that's really cool for you guys to play with. So I've got my plastic bottle. You'll have to bear with me because I'm outside and I don't want my stuff to blow away. I have a scrap sheet of paper, as you can tell. It's already been cut, but I made a long rectangle piece out of it. Let me get back here where you can see it. Long rectangle piece out of it. And so for you guys who are doing kindergarten readiness, this is shapes. Making sure they know their shapes. I made another thin rectangle piece. You'll see how that goes on here in just a minute. I cut out a circle and a star. And I cut out 2 triangles for you bigger kids. These are scalene triangles. No 3 sides are alike. And I have some pieces of tissue paper. Now, I have a daughter, so my stuff's going to be a little bit more girly looking. I tried to do like the brown, the blacks and stuff, and more boyish colors and the green. But I got to throw a little bit of girly colors in there because she's going to be playing with this. So I have some pieces of tissue paper left over from gifts and stuff. And we're going to put this all together with tape. It'll probably last a little bit better. And then I've got some stickers, of course, the little girly stickers for decorating and stuff. Okay? Alright, so the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to take the large rectangle piece and we're going to tape it to our bottle. Just like so. Okay, so I've got it taped on there. And I'm going to wrap it around my bottle. And I'm going to tape the seam right here, okay? So give me just a minute while I do that. Alright, so now I have my seam taped. I should have cut this just a little bit more, but that's okay. Okay, I'm going to take my thinner one, my thinner rectangle, and I'm going to wrap it around the middle. And I'm going to tape that shut. Alright. Now, I'm going to take my triangles. These are going to be the wings on my rocket. So I'm going to tape one on this side and one on the other side. Probably should have done this at a table so that people could have seen this better, but okay, so I've got one triangle on the side here. I'm going to tape my other one. Make sure that I get it pretty much spaced right on my bottle. Alright, so now I have the wings of my rocket. And then I've got a circle that I'm going to tape right up here. I'm going to put an H on it for my daughter so she can play with this. So I'm going to write an H on there and I'm going to tape it on. Or you could glue that part on actually. Alright, so I've got that on there. I also cut out a star that I'm going to tape down here at the bottom. Alright, now I have some of this tissue paper that I used in gifts and stuff because I'm really bad about reusing this stuff. Anybody that knows me, when I go to birthday parties and they start to throw this stuff away, I'm picking it up and grabbing it because I use it for crafts all the time. Anyways, we're going to glue this to the bottom like the flames coming out of the rocket. So I'm going to tape those down real quick. Got 2 more pieces to go right here. And I picked pink because my daughter's favorite color is pink. So, rockets can have pink flares coming out of them, can't they? Alright, so there is our cute little rocket that kids can play with and send through space. And all made out of a water bottle, something that normally we throw away. So I'm going to let my daughter have the stickers, and I'm going to let her finish decorating this cool rocket, putting little heart stickers on it because we got to make it girly, right? So she's going to have it, and she's going to get to play with it and put the rocket through the air and let it fly and pretend she's going to the moon and all that cool stuff. And we just kept something out of the landfill, plus we made a really cheap and easy craft that is going to be super fun to play with. So we will see you guys on Monday. Miss Greta will be back on Monday, and she will do a lesson and an activity with you guys. But if you catch us here every day, we're going to try to do our programs around 5 or 6 o'clock in the afternoons. But catch us here every day on the weekdays, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And we'll help you guys out with some school and stuff, and read a cool book or do some cool activities and learn some stuff about the earth and make cool crafts in the meantime too. All right, guys, well, we'll see you later. You all have a great weekend and stay safe. Bye.